Hello, tutor Muhammad Yusuf bin Omar, and also our course coordinator, Dr. Muhammad. I'm Jayanthi from Python program and to present my mini project Python. And also my title is Alarm Clock using Python program. Shall we? So first of all, my introduction about my project, the alarm clock. The project built in a Python program of all the is Python alarm clock tutorial is to create Python alarm clock. A Python alarm clock script includes in two essential libraries such as date and sound, which assist us concerting project utilizing the correct date and time. And they also give a user interface to set alarm according the demand in our format using alarm Python. So our task is to build an alarm clock using Python, right? As the title suggests, our task here to write Python script that creates an alarm clock. For this task, I will be using the date and time module Python to create an alarm clock and the library in Python to play the alarm sound. And the date and time module also come pre-installed in the Python programming language. You can easily import it your program. The play sound library can easily install by using pip command. So pip command we can install using cdm that I show you in screenshot. Command prompt pip installer play sound. Before the writing program, you should know that you also need an alarm tone. So we can choose any alarm tone we can import from library, which we will ring at the time of the alarm. So these two module is important. We need the external program, right, to to in our mini project. So I'm using that too. So this is a method. Which method I'm using? Uh, I'm install the most recent one, Python programming. You can get in the Python website. Actually, we can use any Python software, but I'm install the new one. So second step, how to make an alarm clock using Python alarm clock. Using, of course, for me it's first time I'm taking Python programming. So for me, zero knowledge about Python programming. I know before this I'm learning C++, and many more. For Python, for me it's the very new. Mm, So first of all, we open a Python software, create project name in separately in the file. And then we must use idle. Then create a project name and generating project name. Click create button and step 2 create a Python file. Second and establish our project name with right click your project name. Then choose new. There will call dashboard out like dashboard. Then click the Python file. And third step, mm, third step is generating Python file and your Python file enter the click. And this is actually the first step. We must write our coding like this. We start like this. This is importing the modules. We need the two modules, right, to create alarm clock. This is a first module, date and time, and second, play sound for our alarm clock. So how do you an alarm clock works? So this is alarm clock works and usually requires to set the specific time, right? You want the alarm clock to ring. Once you have to set the preference time, alarm will continuously match the time you provided with the current time. As soon as both the time matches. The alarm rings. This is a very general ideal how you usually real alarm clock works. And then the alarm clock will be building will follow the mechanism, right? Okay, first this is a first coding we using a I'm referring from our lecturer notes, and also I'm referring from Google. Yeah, I'm so this define valid time. We okay, now your human errors very possible. We need some way to make sure that the time input the user has provided exactly the format we asked to for. To do this, we will create function which we need the job the user provide time. If the time format is unexpected or invalid, then our function will display the message on the console and will ask the user to re-enter the time. So here I'm explaining my coding step by step. Our function call it valid time, the abstract one, right? So our function accept the input as parameter alarm time. In first statement, learn alarm time 11. We checking the land user input exactly 11 character is not return statement asking user to re-enter the value. If the user input exactly 11 character long, then else will block execute. This is where more in-depth validation to our user input happens. In the first statement, if block, we will validating the first two character of our input will HH our means they could slightly chance user many may enter invalid hour value like something more than 12 hour. Here alarm time we using the slicing operator to access the first two character in input user. The input is more than 12 hour, then the execution will move forward to the next condition statement. But if the input more than 11 more than 12 hour, then we will return a statement asking the user to re-enter the time. Okay, this is for now I explaining my coding. Later we run our coding. We can accurate our coding. So next two condition statement do the same job as the first, comparing minutes and second especially. If the input is good, then block our function will return okay. Now this is the job. Our function is over. So now is for validate time. Function is now ready to use now. Now if the time call our function alarm time. So firstly I'm include this input. I'm I'm write my coding like enter time, hour, minutes and second format. So we need predefined for anything we use in coding system. We need a predefined format which user will enter the time, and we are using a standard time format hour, minutes like AM and PM, which ask for the hour, minute, second period and AM and PM. So we will save this input into alarm time variable. So continuously while this while through alarm time input in hour, minute and second format. So validate time the lowest if validate okay. So as usual print is for print our pop up in our screen when our run the when our run our coding else print success. So if we successfully we set our time correctly, it's show up success alarm clock setting. I'm right coding like that. Break and so here is storing a output variable validate, which we are using just whatever in input valid. If not valid, the user will prompt to enter again the time. If not, then execution will be head next step. If okay, we type alarm clock or correctly, it will set. So now show about our input provided user value. Now we can separately store the values into our different variable. So we are using sliding operator to store the specific unit of time into specific unit. Hour will be stored in alarm clock. So minutes will be stored in minimum. So on while true, current hour we have to compare. Actually we using time, right? We we have to compare current hour start time if you using I, and current minute using minute, so current. So I'm referring this all, I'm referring from my notes which lecturer provided, and I also take example from Google and other notes wow provides to me. Now we have to get the current time compare with the user time. Remember, our date module was important in the beginning of our project. We finally gonna make use the first one. We are using date and time, obtain the current time, and we are storing this data. Now we can use in a variable. Next up, we are using the percentage notification, exact the specific time and date. Now the variable is exactly similar to our just did with our user. Now self time user the data string, and this is a coding. Yeah, this is the last one. If alarm period, current time, alarm clock. Now main mechanism. Our alarm lies. We simply using the statement to compare current time user. Then in the statement actually will make comparison with user hour, current hour. Uh, uh, the process repeat until the last statement if executed. Finally we when the stay when the sorry when the statement executed in matches wake up. So I put like this, wake up, and because if alarm clock we usually I make like this, I make my coding like this, wake up Jayanthi and my name. You later when we run coding you can see this. um so we all printed the console, the alarm tone will play to the alarm clock. We are making our place on module, right? All we the password absolutely the address audio file. We for example I just copy paste the link. I copy paste the where I store the audio and copy the link. I just paste in the coding. All the password so play as our prerequisite. Now before we wrap up, it is important for us put all the code we write in the final part into a loop. So keep executing until the last our alarm ring. So I'm all including the coding all. I'm type everything here, and my name wake up. So break is important at the end of execution. Our alarm will stop once. Break it's depend on how many minutes the ringtone ring, ringtone the music ring when I pop up. So it's break, it will stop automatically. So this is my coding. uh, Actually for sure I'm a beginner for Python, so I try my best. Actually for me I learn a lot from this project. Maybe I can try other project to improve myself. And this all the result, this all my result, how the coding. So here we see, here we can see how our coding running step by step. This is our output. First step, we have to enter our minutes and second. and AM or PM correctly the following our coding format. And step 2, once upon entering the time, hour, minute and second format, the code will successfully store in the input time and in the database. And also for step 3, the code will compare the current timing according to digital clock and the timing entered by user. If the current timing equal to the time user input, the ringtone will be played as the audio output, which will start at as alarm clock. So as a as we are human being, we have a natural, like we how to say, we accidentally we enter the wrong alarm time. So mm, enter the so we sometimes it's happen, right? Okay, so if we enter the wrong time, we the coding will show like this. Yeah, invalid our format. Please try again later. Enter the time hour. So we have to enter the time again. Okay. In a while we will run the coding. So as a conclusion, the objective of our project is to implement alarm clock using Python programming. Python consists of some very innovative libraries such as date, time, which help us to build the project using current date and time, as well as provide a user interface to set the alarm according to the our requirement in 12-hour format. For I'm a beginner, I'm using 12-hour format. Build alarm clock program in the Python, importing all the libraries and module required, putting forward loop which take the argument of the time user to set the alarm and automatically it's break when the time is up, with the sound to create display the window user input clock. So we use popular GUI library for recording graphic in the future. I learned how to exert the current time for the computer and manipulating the time library. The way we can set an alarm clock computer interfacing using Python programming, which rings with the default machine sound for the Windows. So for acknowledgement in this project, help us with the understanding of a Python programming for beginner, and how we use a Python to create programming with alarm clock, which is not too hard. I can do as a beginner. So we need more understanding. Okay, so we can run now. I want run my coding now. So open. Okay, so you can see enter time in hour. So what's time now? It's about, okay, 10. Okay, we set around 10 for. Okay. 1 0 minutes now. I want to enter minutes. 4 and 00, and we make sure AM or PM. Okay, success alarm clock setting. Okay. So we have to wait, yeah. Okay, another 30 seconds. Yeah. So you can see like this. It's pop up like this. Okay. Mm, Yeah, okay. So that's my alarm clock. Okay. Now, if user enter wrongly time and hour, we see now. Okay, for example, now I'm using 12-hour format, right? If example I'm adding 18 hour, 18. Okay lah. Like okay, 1 3 99. So I didn't enter AM or PM. I just enter. Okay, it show invalid time and format. Please try again. Please try again. Yes. So far this is my project. I hope uh, tutor and course coordinator understand. Thank you. Thank you so much.